Ve Vídni už na nás čeká Nikola Herman, což je zástupkyně Reuse centra Tandler, která funguje ve Vídni už několik let. A vybrali jsme Vídeň, protože je asi takovou největší inspirací pro to, jak by Reuse centrum mohlo fungovat v Praze. Díky, dávám slovo.
Yes?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect.
So let's start sharing the screen so that you can see the presentation that you prepared for us today. And the floor is yours. Great, thanks.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Nikola Herman and I work for the Municipal Department 48 in Vienna. We are in charge of waste management, and today I'm going to focus on the aspect of waste prevention and reuse in the waste management sector. So first I want to just, give you a small overview on where we are and what we work with here. So Vienna has nearly 2 million inhabitants living here. We have an area of 415 square kilometers that we are in charge for, and around 900,000 households, which is an important number for us because we collect the waste not per person but per household. So that's the digit we usually do our planning with. And one important thing is that Vienna is not only a city but also an Austrian province, and that is important legally, but I will come to that a little later again. So who is responsible for the municipal waste management in Vienna? In the end, the mayor of the city overlooks all the municipal departments, also the waste management department. And there's an authority, which is the municipal department number 22, that is overlooking what we are doing from a development and a legal point of view. And then there's us, number 48, and the energy provider, Vídeňské, working together on the operational level. So we are in charge for the whole chain of waste management, from the collection to the treatment of the waste, also to the disposal. When I say that, I always feel like people think, yeah, it's normal, but actually we're the only city in Europe where it's handled like that, and no part of the waste chain is privatized in any way. We don't work with private collectors or treatment plants. It's all really in the hand of the city. The way our waste management system is structured is oriented after the European waste hierarchy. And in this hierarchy, the prevention of waste and reuse is actually supposed to be the most important part of waste management. So sometimes, since we run this huge reuse shop here, which you will see later on, sometimes people treat it as if we do that just for fun or, as an extra add-on or something. And I always emphasize, actually, by law, waste prevention is something we also have to perform actively. And that's why we have this shop. It's not just because, it looks cool and it's nice advertisement or something like that. It's actually an important part of waste management, and that's what we are in charge for. So of course we have to do that. So in Austria, no municipal waste goes directly to landfill any longer, and all of the residual waste is either recycled or treated in waste energy plants. So let's take a short look at the legal situation, because it's important. In Vienna we have the procedures are described as how things need to be done, basically. And that's why it's important that we're not only a city but also a province, because in Austria every province has their own waste management law. So we have 9 provinces and 9 different waste management laws in Austria. And as we are the only, I would say, big city in Austria, it's very important for us that we can make our own rules, because a lot of things have to be done quite differently from, the rural areas. Then we have the Vienna Waste Management Plan that is renewed every 6 years, and it basically sets the goals and how the goals are measured for the sector. And the only rule to this plan is that each goal has to be higher than 6 years previous from that. So we cannot, for example, in our old plan we had a goal of, let's say, 30% recycling rate. We cannot downgrade it to 20%. We always have to get better. And then we also have the Viennese Waste Prevention Plan. It's a document on its own, and it sets all the goals for waste minimization. Reuse is a part of it, and that is also together with the waste management plan renewed every 6 years. So in that waste prevention plan, a number of projects that we support as a city is listed. All of them have the main goal to reduce the amount of waste that even exists. I picked one example that has been very successful for about 12 years now, I think, is that in all big events in the town we use those reusable cups. We have a huge pool of them in the city, and we provide them to whoever, is organizing the event, and it's pretty much banned in Vienna to use disgradable plastic cups. We have other waste minimization programs, like in the building sector, that a certain part has to be reused, and we have a reduction on diapers if you use a reusable one instead of a disposable one, like in many different fields. And of course, one of our main projects in waste minimization is the reuse shop. We opened the reuse shop in 2015, so it's been 5 years in September or August, I think. We celebrated the 5 years birthday of the Tandler. We actually already had a reuse shop in Vienna since the mid of the 1980s, so for almost 40 years. But our old reuse shop, it was more in the outskirts of the city, whereas the new one is right in the center. And it was more like a big hall where stuff was just brought, and then people could, walk through it and look at the stuff, but it was not really presented like a shop. It was more just, like a storage, I would say. And so we, in the last waste minimization plan, we decided that we need a better concept for reuse, because it's not only to actually reuse the items, but it's also to change the people's mindset. So we wanted to present it in a nicer way, so people actually see there's still value in those things. So now I'm trying to answer the questions that you sent us beforehand. Where do the items come from? So we have different sources. Our main source is definitely the 16 separate collection centers that we have around the city, where people can bring all different kinds of waste fractions, but they can also bring stuff there that they sorted out and that they don't consider as waste, but they just want to, give it away for other people to reuse it. So at the recycling centers, we have those Tandler boxes, they are called. You can see one here, and basically it's a shelf where people can leave their things. And then our workers collect the stuff from there and put it in the container in the bag. And then once a week the container is collected from the recycling center and it goes to our sorting facility. That is our main source. The most of the things that we sell come from the citizens of Vienna. Another source that we have here is that the lost and found services of the city are now also since 2015 combined in our department. So we have the possibility to resell stuff that has been in the lost and found department and has never been picked up. Of course, there's a legal time frame we have to wait in case the people find the stuff back. But actually, a lot of things are never collected. And before, we didn't have any other possibility than just disposing those things. And now we have the great possibility to resell it here. So luckily, there is no possibility that we would ever run out of umbrellas or hats. Because we have a lot. Then we get stuff directly from the municipality. So if a department, for example, gets a new set of computers or new tables or whatever, the old stuff is also brought to our department and we have the possibility to sell it here. And we have some partners, like for example Wiener Wohnen. It's the department that is responsible for the social housing, and from time to time they clear out the basements, for example, because families move away and they leave their stuff in the basement, and then they find, I don't know, bikes there, and they also give them to us then, so they don't have to go to waste. How do we manage damaged items? That it depends on what kind of item it is. So in general, of course, in the shop, only clean and nice and undamaged items will end up here. We do not sell anything that is broken and people need to repair it themselves. Everything is undamaged that we offer here. But we basically undergo a very strict sorting process, but usually we do not repair the stuff. If a chair comes in with only 3 legs instead of 4, then it's sorted out. But there are a few categories where we make an exception. Bicycles are one example. Anyway, we have a team that needs to check all the bicycles that come in, even if they are undamaged, because we have to make sure they are safe. And so we also do small repairments on bikes. And another big group we do repairments on electronic and electric items. So here we have a cooperation with a company called DLZ. It employs long-term unemployed people and guides them back into the work life. And they do repairments on electronic waste items like TVs, radios, computers, mobile phones, and so on for us. And so we have the possibility to also offer 1-year warranty on those items. Also, for the corporations, I have to say that the Tandler is a non-profit organization run by us. So all the revenues that are generated here go to social projects, like, for example, the animal shelter of the city, which you can see on the picture. And we also have the possibility of material donations. So sometimes we give, bikes to a kindergarten or winter clothes to homeless shelter and so on. Where do we store our items for sale? We actually have a storage on premises, so on our own land. It's about 3,000 square meters big. And we mostly store the stuff in those gray boxes you can see see on the picture on shelves, and from there it's then brought to the shop. Exception are bulky items which we, store by themselves, like the home trainer you can see in the picture. It doesn't fit in the box. Some more impressions of our storage. So these, for example, are the electronics that will then be sent to our partner to check them. And here's one of our employees sorting through games. So he is looking at them and all the games that he thinks are fine for sale go into the box, and the rest is sorted out. I have to say that the stuff we usually get is pretty high quality, and we are able to resell about 60% of what we get, and about 40% is usually sorted out. How do we cover our operating costs? So since the reuse shop is run by the city of Vienna, the operating costs are basically covered by the budget of the city. It's part of the waste management department, so we pay the employee of the shop exactly the same as I am paid, for example, and all of our other employees. But still at the same time, we try to, of course, operate the reuse shop as financially reasonable as possible. What items are popular? So very popular items are books and other media like CDs and vinyls. Also, we sell really a lot of bikes, textiles and dishes. And one product that we learned that we do not sell are video cassettes. When we started 5 years ago, we got a lot of them, but we had to learn that actually there's no market for them any longer and nobody uses them. So this category we do not offer to shop anymore nowadays. To the best practice examples you asked me about. So one thing we do here at the Tandler is that we have regular events. So about every 2 to 3 weeks we have a public event, and it could be really anything. We have repair coffees, we have reading sessions, we have concerts, we have yoga classes, we have dance courses, and our marketing team basically came up with that idea. And so the people come for the event, but they also have to go through the reuse shop to reach the event. And through those events, we really have the possibility to get a lot more people here that are usually not so interested in buying secondhand. And then they see it, and then they find something, and then they talk about it, and it's been really a great success. Yeah, so that was a reading session that we had last year. Yeah, and I think that basically covered the questions you sent me. And we're still doing the virtual tour, and I'm open for any kind of questions.
Okay, Nicole, thank you so much. So can we do a virtual tour right now?
Yeah, you think virtual tour first or questions first?
Maybe virtual tour. We are kind of short on time, so yeah, just
All right.
have a chance to see the center.
So, let's go. Can you see fine?
Musíme jít na ten Zoom, aby bylo vidět to, co...
Musíte hodit vizu. Vy tam máte prezentaci. To posílám od vás. Ještě ne. Jo, už.
You can see it now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. different segments, so for us it's not the biggest part. Here we have the area for furniture. So you can see shelves and tables and chairs. Around the corner we have all of the dishes and kitchen stuff. So we sell everything from cooking items, but also, you know, plates and glasses and so on. And here we have our sports area. So we have a lot of home trainers, and this part is highly seasonal. So right now you can see we already have some rollerblades and ice skates up here. In the summer you will see maybe a lot of camping stuff and so on. But now we are already getting prepared for the winter season. A lot of bikes. As I said, one of our best products are the bicycles, especially children bikes. And in this part we have all the electronic items. As I told you before, we work together with an external partner that repairs them for us, so we can offer a warranty on it. And there we have the media products, so there's all the LPs and all the CDs over here. So, yeah. And here we have another special vitrine where we have locked in things that are a little bit higher in value. So we have like some crystal glasses and so on in here. Alright. And music stuff. This year in Vienna it's the Beethoven year because it's 250 years after his death. So we made a little Beethoven decoration corner here. Unfortunately, Beethoven has to wear a mask as well. Alright, and then I'll take you back to the office with me.
Okay, Nicole, thank you so much for the tour, and I am going to ask if you have any questions on Slido. Done, it seems. We have one question from the audience. Yeah. Asi to hlavně zakřičte, přeložení.
Jo, dobře. Já jsem se to zmiňovala, že 40% neprodají a že 40%, nebo tak 60% toho, co přijmou, jde do obchodu a 40% ne. Tak mě zajímá, co je 40%.
Nicola, can you hear me?
Yes?
Yes, so the question is, you said that you are not accepting about 40% of the items that you receive. So what happens to those items?
It depends on what items it is, but as soon as we do not accept for the real shop, it's considered waste. So depending on if it's residual waste, it goes to the thermal treatment plant, or if it's electronic waste, it's recycled. So depending on which waste fraction it is, but it is treated as if it was put into the waste.
Okay, gotcha.
Jo, jestli můžu zajímat, jak často probíhá obměna toho materiálu, protože teď často říkáme odpověděl, ale prostě jak často probíhá ta obměna toho materiálu, který v rámci toho je tam nabízen a kdo to jako určuje, nebo jak se to určuje, prostě co už půjde jako bez odpadu prostě a nahradí se něčím jiným.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to translate the second question. So how do the items that you sell circulate? Like when do you decide? Okay, so this part of what we have here is gonna be wasted, and you're gonna sell it anymore. Or what, do you have any kind of rules, or how does that work?
We have generally a pretty fast turnover. So most items we are open every week from Wednesday to Saturday, and most items are sold within the time frame. So mostly if you come in the next week, you wouldn't see the same things anymore than the week before. And our employees decide by themselves basically when they restructure something and when they put stuff away. And it also depends a little bit on product category. Of course, like, a home trainer that we offer for €150 maybe remains a bit longer than a pile of plates that we offer for €5. But it's really, so we have 11 employees that work directly in the sorting and in the shop. And they decide by themselves how they redecorate the stuff, and then sometimes things go back to the storage and come back out later, and sometimes we also have to dispose of something because we couldn't sell it.
Okay, gotcha.
A ještě tady, how many employees do you have, tak ona odpověděla, ale třeba ještě jaký pozice, všechny ty lidi dělají.
Okay, so the last question, because we are running out of time, so how many employees do you have? And you have already mentioned that in the shop you have 11 employees. So do you have any other employees in the storage, and maybe what like positions these are job roles?
So purely assigned to the real shop as either in the sorting facility or working in the shop, it's 11 people, as I said. But then, of course, the reuse shop is a part of our municipal department. So there are definitely more employees in the scenes who are, involved in, for example, the event planning and so on. But those people are not only working with the reuse shop, but the waste management department in total. So yeah, as employees that are really only hired for the reuse shop, it's 11 people.
Okay.
A ještě poslední to je, jaký jsou roční náklady?
Ti zaměstnanci, to jsou všechno, nebo ti zaměstnanci po Tandleru jsou zaměstnanci toho odboru 40, to jsou všechno?
Jsem pochopila, že jo, ale že se nevěnují jenom jakoby jiným aktivitám v rámci odboru.
Jasně.
A poslední teda otázka.
Last question.
Jaký je roční rozpočet? Včetně mzdových nákladů teda, nebo?
No, jak je ten budget, který město musí doplácet vlastně na provoz toho sběrného, toho Tandleru, toho
jaká je vlastně dotace města na provoz?
Yeah, so what is your yearly budget, and what is the municipality contribution, or what is basically the value that the municipality has to put into sponsoring your new center?
The yearly budget, it's hard to tell because it's part of so many things that we are doing. So it's hard to really say which money goes into the reuse thing and which is just a general waste campaign that we are running, because the Tandler is embedded in every campaign almost that we are doing. So budget-wise, we cannot really exclusively say how much it is. And for the contribution, I mean, we run it to minimize waste, and we can say that we save around 100,000 tons per year running the shop, which is compared to 1 million tons of waste that we have in Vienna per year, a very small amount. But it's not only about, the waste that we actually prevent, it's actually also about showing people that not everything you don't like anymore has to be waste. So it's a change in mind that we aim for. And yeah, it's our shop here clearly is a non non-profit shop, so we do not, as I said, of course, we try to run it economically, but it's not our main goal to make a profit. It's our main goal to prevent waste. And there are definitely other concepts of reuse shops, like the one in Hamburg, for example, which is a for-profit organization, and they also do things differently. But here, yeah, it's our main goal to spread the idea of reuse to all the citizens of Vienna.
Great. Well, Nicola, thank you so much. We are going to go to the next segment, but definitely thank you for the informational presentation and that the experience that you shared with us. Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.